हेलो गाइस, वेलकम बैक टू द चैनल। आई होप आप सब लोग ठीक होंगे। सो दिस इज़ द वीडियो ऑन मार्च 9th करंट अफेयर्स from Telangana today. So whatever exams, MCQs that you're going to face in the upcoming months, that is group 2, 3, 4, उन सब में ये काम आने वाला है. So let us start with the article itself. I will not be focusing on the details of it. Whatever is relevant for the exam point of view, current affairs, especially MCQ based, and somewhere for the group 1 mains fodder is what we are going to see in this video and henceforth. So the first one, we'll talk about V Hub, very important women centric entrepreneurship डेवलपमेंट काइंड ऑफ अ सेटअप. सो उसका 5th एनिवर्सरी के सेलिब्रेशंस हो रहे हैं. 5th एनिवर्सरी, दैट मीन्स 2017 is when VHub was established. That is important for us to know. And it was launched on International Women's Day, that is March 8. That also becomes important. And the idea was set up during the Global Economic Summit that was hosted in 2017. Again, this could be a additional line in your MCQ based. And Telangana is the first such state to launch such a dedicated platform for women-centric entrepreneurship, right? So these are the points that we have to deal. And another point, that is the news, is that Telangana is set to launch a single window system for it. It is set to launch, it is not launched. लेकिन ऐसा announcement हो गया है, तो by the time exam comes, it could be a MCQ bit. So this is about your V Hub. Next we have Arogya Mahila scheme that is being launched. Now, two important things. First one is that it was launched in Karimnagar. Where in Karimnagar? It is Butti Rajaram Primary Health Center is where it was launched. I will try to keep it in English so that maximum of us can benefit from these videos. So this is the most important thing about Arogya Mahila scheme. As and when more articles come, we will discuss about them in future videos. Another thing is that 3 gifts were given on International Women's Day by KCR. That is, first one is Arogya Mahila scheme was launched. Nutrition kits is an old scheme, so they were again circulated, and 750 crores of interest free loans were given. That is zero interest loans for the women self-help groups. So this is another addition. The most important one here is the Arogya Mahila scheme. We will see more to it as and when it comes in news. Talking about the next point is about air quality index. So you can check out that the worst air quality index we find is near Zoo Park, and next is the Pashamailaram industrial area. Even the Charminar, GD Metla, all these zones also come under highly polluted areas of Hyderabad city. Such details might not be asked, but you can use it as a value addition in your group 1 mains answers, or somewhere to eliminate options कि यहाँ पर तो बहुत ज़्यादा pollution है, such kind of data. What becomes more important is exactly what is air quality index. So air quality index measures 8 pollutants. So to remember, it is PM10, PM2.5, that is particulate matter, then ozone, that is O3, then CO2, that is not CO2 but CO, that is carbon monoxide, then nitrogen dioxide, NO2, sulfur dioxide, SO2, lead, that is PB, and your ammonia, which is NH3. Okay, so these are the 8 pollutants which AQI measures, and it measures into 6 categories. This National Air Quality Index was launched in 2014 with a sort of tagline which is called one number, one color, one description. Okay, one number, one color, and one description. So this kind of a tagline, and it was launched in 2004. These are some of the important points about your air quality index. If you want, you can also just check out the colors, which is green, then dark green, light green, then your yellow, then your orange, then red, and then your maroon. So maroon is the worst case, which is above 400. And in Telangana, if we see, we have not crossed 400 mark. We are in the range of 200s. So we belong to the orange category in Hyderabad, right? So that is what you can relate to. Next, what is in every mind these days is the H3N2 virus, influenza A virus. So it belongs to the severe acute respiratory infections. It is one of that, which is SARI. And talking about influenza viruses as such, there are four different kinds. It is A, B, C, D. A is more more noted one, because even the previous flus that we had, that is the avian flu, bird flu, and the swine flu, both of them also belong to the category of influenza A viruses. और उसमें होता क्या है? It causes respiratory diseases in humans and animals. This becomes important. Animals में भी है, and major part of it is that the genome, the constitution of DNA in these viruses continuously changes, which makes it difficult for us to build or rather set up a vaccine for it. ठीक है, इस वजह से इसको एंटीवायरल ड्रग से भी क्योर किया जाता है. सो दिस इज समथिंग दैट यू हैव टू रिमेंबर. And if we talk about the code for avian influenza is H5N1, and swine flu is H1N1. और अभी जो आया है it is H3N2 influenza A virus. Next, talking about the She Shuttle service. So it is an exclusive transport system working women professionals के लिए IT corridor में. ओके तो ये 15th शी शटल लॉन्च किया गया है सर्विस, एंड इट इज़ लॉन्च विद द सपोर्ट ऑफ आर्कीजियम कंपनी, और ये लॉन्च किया गया है टी हब, नॉलेज सिटी वगैरह उस वाले रूट में. एंड देर इज़ ऑल्सो अ सॉर्ट ऑफ स्मार्ट ऐप related to She Shuttle, which is Reach Safe. Okay, this is the app that is related to your She Shuttle service, and it has been launched under Cyberabad Metropolitan Police. Okay. Another important point, where is Knowledge City? It is in Salarpuria. So these are some of the points related to this particular article. Next, talking about rural development. So even in our socio-economic outlook, we have seen that out of 20 panchayats, 19 are from Telangana, which have made a sort of development. Apart from that, we have SHGs, we have interest-free loans for women, then we have Abhay Hastam, then we have Stree Nidhi funds. So these are some of the points that are related to your development in Telangana state. So out of this, only Abhay Hastam is something that is new. It is like a pension scheme for the SHG women, self-help group women. Okay. Next, this point you can write in your any of the essays related to women. You can show that Afghan women are the most deprived, especially after the Taliban has taken over, and this is given by UN report itself. Okay, so this is something authentic that you can quote in your essays or women related answers. Another point that you can quote is that women-led startups, so women entrepreneurs in India are around 8%. So that is what something you can quote. These are some basic stats that you can use here and there. The important point over here is that J. Santosh Kumar is the founder of Green India Challenge, and he is the brain behind Women's Day Green India Challenge, where women are encouraged to plant saplings. Okay, so this is something that you can make note of the name Santosh Kumar. Next, we have a documentary that has been published on the countries, that is India's first female judge of Supreme Court, which is Fatima Bibi. So she was not just the country's first female judge of Supreme Court, but she was also the first chairperson of National Human Rights Commission, and she was also the first Muslim women governor in any state. And which state? It is Tamil Nadu. Next, we have some more facts, some more stats that you can use, that female participation rate in India is one of the lowest workforces. We are at 21% of female participation rate. Also, according to World Bank, India's women participation in formal economy is among the lowest in the world. Just sparing the Arab world, we are among the lowest in rest of the world. And talking about gender equality in parliamentary democracy, that is in your politics, we see that women MPs in Lok Sabha are only 14%, and in Rajya Sabha we have only 11% of representation. So these are some of the facts that you can quote. Rest of the points you can come across here and there, but these are some of the stats that you can mention in your answers or essays. So we must encourage the women's reservation bill to be passed, and at least 33% of reservation, not only after becoming MPs but also within the political parties, that is internal democracy and your external democracy should be maintained. Again, this is a very very interesting quote by your UN Secretary General, which is Antonio Guterres. um, he says that gender equality is 300 years away considering what we are doing today, right? If we are not on the verge of improving our gender justice norms, then it is going to take close to 300 years for us to attain gender equality by the pace that we are moving toward. Another stat that you can quote is that one woman dies every 2 minutes during pregnancy or childbirth. So these are some of the further points that you can add in your essay. Now, this is a very, very important article. Which ministry launches this point or has come up with a gazette notification is Finance Ministry. And what has it come up with? It has come up with a anti-money laundering provision for cryptocurrencies or virtual assets. We will see the differences henceforth. Basically, it is trying to say that the cryptocurrencies will be considered under money laundering. And what is the act related to it? It is the PMLA, right? PMLA, which is Prevention of Money Laundering Act 2002. Under that, these things will be covered. What all will be covered? We are looking over here. That is exchange between virtual digital assets and your fiat currencies. That is your money, the cash that you have, and your virtual digital assets. Otherwise, the exchange between one or more virtual digital assets, or it could be the transfer of virtual digital assets and the participation and provision in financial services related to virtual digital assets. So basically, anything related to your cryptocurrencies will be covered under PMLA Act from now on, right? And Indian cryptocurrency exchanges, they have to be reported to FIUIND, which is Financial Intelligence Unit India. तो वहाँ पे आपको उसको रिपोर्ट करना है अगर कोई सस्पिशियस एक्टिविटी आपको नज़र आती है क्रिप्टो करेंसीज में. Now let's see the difference between crypto assets and virtual digital assets. So सबसे पहले virtual digital assets क्या है? They are defined as any code or number or token that is generated to cryptographic means. जो blockchain technology से generate होता है वो है आपका virtual digital asset. वो चाहे कोड हो, नंबर हो, टोकन हो, जिस भी फॉर्म में हो, वो आपका वर्चुअल डिजिटल असेट होता है. और G20 से मिलके हम एक स्टैंडर्ड ऑपरेटिंग प्रोटोकॉल दैट इज SOP जनरेट करना चाहते हैं क्रिप्टो असेट्स के रेगुलेशन के लिए, क्योंकि क्रिप्टो करेंसीज आर अक्रॉस द वर्ल्ड एंड वी नीड अ इंटरनेशनल काइंड ऑफ अ मैकेनिज्म टू कंट्रोल देम, राइट? Now talking about crypto assets, they by definition they are borderless and international collaboratory sort of assets जो रेगुलेटरी आर्बिट्रेज को प्रिवेंट करने के लिए लगते हैं. सो देयर इज नो मेजर डिफरेंस बिटवीन योर वर्चुअल डिजिटल एसेट्स एंड क्रिप्टो एसेट्स. इट इज़ ओनली फॉर अस एज रेफरेंस कि ये एक बॉर्डरलेस है, इसलिए इंटरनेशनल कंट्रोल मैकेनिज्म इनके लिए ज़रूरी है. वॉट बिकम्स मोर इंपॉर्टेंट इज वॉट आर वी डूइंग रिलेटेड टू इट, एंड देयर इज अनदर टर्म विच इज़ Web3 विच बिकम्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट बिकॉज ये एक ऐसा इंटरनेट है जो डिसेंट्रलाइज्ड फॉर्म में ब्लॉकचेन टेक्नोलॉजी के थ्रू रन हो रहा है. ओके, सो वी कॉल इट एज DAO विच इज़ डिसेंट्रलाइज्ड ऑटोनॉमस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. ठीक है, ये एक डिसेंट्रलाइज्ड फॉर्म ऑफ इंटरनेट है. अगर Web1 की बात करें और Web2 की बात करें, Web2 में इट इज़ ऑल द बिग कंपनीज, मेगा कंपनीज आर ओनिंग योर इंटरनेट, राइट? लेकिन यहाँ पर जो है आपका ओनरशिप के स्टेक्स आपके यूजर्स के पास होगा, अनलाइक द टेक्नोलॉजी जायंट्स. सो दैट इज द रेवोल्यूशन ओवर हियर. सो इन अ वे इट इज़ लाइक अ डिसेंट्रलाइज्ड फॉर्म ऑफ इंटरनेट जो रन किसके थ्रू होगा? ब्लॉकचेन टेक्नोलॉजी के थ्रू. दिस कुड बी अ वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट बिट. इसके अलावा आपके बजट में क्रिप्टो करेंसीज के लिए क्या है इज़ दैट 30% टैक्स ऑन इनकम लगेगा आपके क्रिप्टो करेंसीज पे भी, और 1% TDS भी लगेगा ऐसे एसेट्स के लिए. अगर आप जनरली कोई गिफ्ट देते हैं, गिफ्ट्स आर एग्जेम्प्टेड फ्रॉम योर इनकम टैक्स, बट गिफ्ट्स इन क्रिप्टो करेंसीज एंड डिजिटल एसेट्स विल बी टैक्स्ड. So we have to understand this. Next point is about the natural salt pans, which are also called as salt flats या salt deserts. तो इसमें इन सब में मेन पॉइंट यही है कि when do such salt pans develop is when the rate of evaporation exceeds the rate of precipitation. That is, deserts में ही ऐसे salt pans बनने के chances हैं, right? सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट बात यह है कि दे आर नॉट कंप्लीटली ड्राई, दी सॉल्ट डेजर्ट्स आर नॉट कंप्लीटली ड्राई. इनके नीचे एक्सट्रीमली सॉल्टी वाटर का एक लेयर होता है, लेकिन ऊपर जो है इस तरह की क्रैक्ड हनी कोम जैसा पैटर्न बनता है. वी डोंट हैव टू गेट इन टू द मैकेनिज्म कि ऐसा क्यों बनता है, बट वी जस्ट हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड कि ऐसे कौन से क्लाइमेट में होता है जब रेट ऑफ इवेपोरेशन रेट ऑफ प्रेसिपिटेशन से ज़्यादा होगा, तभी इस तरह के सॉल्ट पैन्स या सॉल्ट डेजर्ट्स बनेंगे. और ये कम्प्लीटली ड्राई नहीं होते हैं, इनके नीचे जो है देयर इज़ अ लेयर ऑफ सॉल्टी वाटर बीनीथ दीज काइंड ऑफ पैन्स, इज वॉट वी हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड. Next, very, very important cultural element here is about the celebration of Daul Mahotsav. Now, क्वेश्चन कुड बी डाउल महोत्सव कहाँ मनाया जाता है. सो असम में मनाया जाता है. कौन से सेक्ट से बिलोंग करता है और विच सेक्ट इज इट अ शैवाइट कल्चर और अ वैष्णवाइट. सो इट इज़ अ वैष्णवाइट कल्चर इन असम. और उस सीट को क्या कहते हैं? बारपेटा सत्रा. ओके, सत्रा इज योर मोनेस्ट्री एंड बारपेटा इज द प्लेस वेयर इट इज डन. एंड a unique point is that all throughout the year women are barred, that is they have no entry into this kind of monastery. लेकिन इस दिन, that is Daul Mahotsav, which is a 4-day festival around Holi, in दिनों में the women are also allowed to go into that. Who set up this satra is Shankar Deva's disciple, which is Madhav Deva, which we study in our Indian culture. तो उन्होंने ये सेटअप किया है एंड इसके पीछे माइथोलॉजी जाती है, सो विच इज़ नॉट वेरी रिक्वायर्ड. बट ऑन द 4th डे जब ये होता है उस दिन फाकुआ, दैट इज द कलर्स दैट दे स्प्रिंकल ऑन ईच अदर एंड प्ले इन द फॉर्म ऑफ होली. सो होली का एक ट्रेडिशनल सॉर्ट ऑफ मनाने का तरीका असम में हमको देखने को मिलता है इन द फॉर्म ऑफ डाउल महोत्सव. Next, we'll discuss some of the questions. Oldest mountains, it is Aravalis. Aravalis are also known as Mewat Hills. Photosynthesis किसके presence में होता है? Chlorophyll and your sunlight. Then CAD stands for computer aided. Next, Sati system was mentioned in which work of Kalidas? It is your Kumara Sambhava. And your Bose Institute is located in Kolkata. Next, talking about the UNSC, that is, it is one of the 6 principal organs of UN. यूएनएससी का काम है कि पीस एंड सिक्योरिटी को मेंटेन करे सारे. Another important point about UNSC is that it is the only UN body which has the authority to issue binding resolutions on its member state. Now this is very interesting about the tropical rainforest. सबसे diverse, like absolutely high biological diversity and the oldest sort of ecosystem are your tropical rainforests. 6% of your ground surface दे ऑक्यूपाई, लेकिन 50% से भी ज़्यादा प्लांट एंड एनिमल डाइवर्सिटी हमको यहाँ पर देखने को मिलती है. दे डू नॉट हैव डिस्टिंक्ट सीजन्स एट ऑल. द टेम्परेचर रेयरली गोज बिलो 16 डिग्री. सो क्योंकि वो इक्वेटोरियल बेल्ट में है, ट्रॉपिकल रेन फॉरेस्ट है, सो यू कैन इमेजिन वेयर इट इज गोइंग टू बी. लेकिन what is the threat over here? If the deforestation rate that is being happening in today's world, वो rate अगर continue हुआ तो within 40 years we are going to lose this treasure of tropical rainforests. यहाँ पर कुछ environment related points are become very important is that because the trees are huge, they are tall, so वो एक canopy बनाते हैं, thick canopy. Canopy is like a covering, okay, it's like a cap on the trees, so they make a thick canopy at the top of the forest. And there are some trees which grow beyond that canopy also, और उनको हम कहते हैं emergents, which grow, the trees which grow taller than the canopy are known as your emergents. However, what happens beneath, सबसे नीचे क्या, और ऊपर तो इस तरह की कैनोपी बन रही है, बहुत लंबे लंबे झाड़ बन रहे हैं, लेकिन what is happening on the floor is very infertile. इसलिए अगर ये रेन फॉरेस्ट अगर मिट गए ना, तो उस ज़मीन से नए फॉरेस्ट या नए ट्रीज उगना बहुत मुश्किल होगा. सो वी विल बी डिवॉइड ऑफ सच ग्रेट ट्रेजर. right? So we have to protect them. Also, what happens on the floor is that the floor is covered with moss, it is covered with fungi, it is covered with decaying plant matter, and because it is so much of canopy that is there on the top, the sunlight cannot penetrate to the ground, and that is why there is no major life or plant growth in on the uh, floor of the tropical rainforest, right? One kind of plant that we had seen, trees we had seen, is the emergent. The second one is the epiphytes that directly grow on the surface of these giant trees, because उनके climbers के जैसे, creepers के जैसे बन के वो बनते हैं, which are orchids and ferns. So where do they get their nutrition from? They get it just below the canopy. वहाँ से उनको sunlight मिल जाता है, and because they grow very close to the trees, they get the required water as well, right? Next, rainforests are also known as world's pharmacy. They are also known as world's lumber supply. Lumber is the wood that you use. So 25%, more than 25% of the medicines that we use come from these tropical rainforests. So we have to preserve these rainforests for both aesthetic purposes, natural purposes, ethical purposes, and our material purposes. So there are other forests that we read from our GC Leong, etc. If you must have read. If not, we will see one of them each in the upcoming videos. Moving on to the next very important science and technology related point, chat gpt, very much in use. It is said that it has failed a UPSC exam nevertheless. So this is like a chat gpt is a conversational chat box. It was designed by a startup called OpenAI. Okay, what does it help you with? It helps you to write introductions, headlines, paraphrase your text, etc. So it is basically like a AI tool that helps you to write better. Such other tools are your Quillbot. So if you have analyzed the previous year question papers of UPSC, you will understand that these kind of uh, different words are going to be clumped up and asked कि ये क्या है. जैसे the question could be Quillbot, writer, DeepL, Bing Chat. What are these? Okay, these are AI based tools that help you to write better. These are some Trojan viruses, computer viruses, etc. It could be asked in that form. So just have a idea about this. ये सबका काम यही है कि these are tools that help you to write good content over internet, and content development is becoming a very much rage kind of a thing. तो काफ़ी ज़्यादा इसके jobs आ रहे हैं. So these are the tools that will help you to write better. So this was about today's current affairs. I will see you next with another video. Thank you for watching.